What's up everybody, it's Joe from JLDB Games coming at you with another cool video, back and playing a coaster of course in Westwood. So in this episode, it's going to be kind of a weird episode because I do make a last second decision that changes kind of what goes on here. But you'll see that in just a moment. Here, I wanted to make sure I filled up this space in between the River Rapids ride and the pirate ship ride. This is a just a little bathroom stall because I noticed I hadn't had any bathrooms yet in the park yet, really, except for actually I don't have any. Actually, this is the first set of bathrooms that I put in the park, which is kind of interesting itself because you would expect some bathrooms at the entrance possibly, and I might actually have to end up adding that. So in this park, I wanted to make sure there's actually a lot of back areas as well that you wouldn't see, kind of like behind the scenes stuff. So I want to make sure there's like employee stuff or areas as well, as in like only employees can go in that direction and in that section of the park. So different things like that. I wanted to add I want to still add some more details to this restroom. I'm not entirely sure yet where that stands yet, or what I'm going to be doing or what I can do to it to make it a little more detailed. I'm always open for suggestions, so that's always a thing. I don't want to put windows there because I don't feel like that would be realistic for restrooms like this to have windows in the middle there, but I feel like there needs to be something in those middle sections of this building. So that's just kind of where I stand on that. Now here comes a more interesting part after I get done with this over here. I do actually end up trying to add a roller coaster in this episode. The aero coaster that people have suggested that would work well in this section of the park, but I actually don't go with that. So you'll see that here in just a little bit, that I actually start adding a roller coaster, but I decide not to. So this is one of the back areas I was talking about for like employees only, you know, for like the janitors and stuff would use this. Like that back part of the building is more like a janitor's supply closet or something like that. That would work for the building right here, and of course usually there's a lot of supply closets in the for actual, you know, parks with their restrooms. That way they have all their supplies there when they clean each restroom and stuff like that, so they can use those supplies for the restroom. So and then I decided to put like a little garbage bin right there because it's just a little behind the scenes little spot to put stuff, and I think it works out quite well. And again, I want to stress again that everything you see is not final, and that there could be more details added in the future. So anytime you see buildings like in this park, I could still be adding details to those buildings. For instance, after I add here or later in the video, if not now, I can't remember, I actually add some more details to the Buckshot's Cafe restaurant on the backside because there wasn't anything there. So this is my attempt to actually add an aero coaster in this section. I wanted to put it right here. I thought it would be the best place to put it, but it did not work out in the end, because just the placement of it and just the area that's in, it ended up not being a great area for the aero coaster to go in. I feel like it was kind of out of place and everything, and I wanted to be, if it was going to be a coaster here, I wanted to make sure it was compact and kind of takes up small amount of space. That was kind of my goal with it. But unfortunately, I didn't feel like it would be able to fit in here very well. And I think what I do to substitute it actually works out well. Like I said in the last episode, there may or may not be a roller coaster in this episode, but you kind of get a little bit of action here. And this is what happens when I have something originally planned and I decide, well, at last second, maybe I could do this instead. And that's kind of what happens here. And I go back to what I was originally planned instead, rather than using this coaster idea, because this coaster idea I thought was a good idea, but it just didn't work out for me, and I decided to go ahead and get rid of this altogether in just a moment, as you will see now, because I wanted to try and go one way, and I was like, well, maybe it'll work better the other direction, and I was like, maybe that won't work either. So it was just kind of a awkward thing, and this is why it's a good idea to stick to the planning and stuff like that. Not that I don't like your guys's suggestions and stuff. As you can see, I did try it out, and I didn't really feel like I felt like it was really out of place in this spot. And that being said, I might move it into more of an on the outside of the park a little bit more, maybe next to the River Rapids ride over off to the side over there. And that's actually going into a different section of the park, because the Westwood Shores section right here is actually almost complete. We're almost done with the first section of the park, and this is actually one of the smaller sections of the park that doesn't have a whole lot to it. And that's kind of where we started off with. And the Raging River is actually the big attraction in this area of the park. So this was the original idea after I get rid of the coaster. This is the original idea I wanted to have, is to have this body of water and the actual pathway to wrap around it and connect to the entrance plaza, or the entrance section of the park as well. That way, you have more of that shore feel, as you can see, as there's another body of water, and I feel like it just fits better with the theme of this section of the park in the first place. The more water there is, I feel like it was just the right thing to do. And I know a lot of people are going to be upset that I didn't end up adding a roller coaster in this part, or this section of the park. But that doesn't go without saying that there might be one someday in the future in this section. You just never know, because I want to always be adding stuff to this park, and never give up when it comes to parks and stuff like that. So anyways, I just felt like this felt a little bit more better in the park itself. And yeah, this is just my opinion, and I'm sorry if you were really expecting a roller coaster in this episode, but it does become more of a detailing episode more than anything, there's a lot of detailing episodes. At least there's going to be a lot of detail episodes, and that is just one thing that you're just gonna have to deal with, because it just makes this park much better. And so in replacement of the roller coaster, I decided to make this little Fritz stall. I know, it's just yeah. I knew there was going to be something that had to go right here, and I thought just a little food stall would actually work quite well. And I thought it turned out well. It's just a little stall. This is actually how big the stalls I want to be. I don't want them too small, but I don't want them too large as well. So I think this kind of squarish type of thing as well. So you're going to see different stalls throughout the park like this, kind of, as well as restaurants and stuff like that. And one thing I do want to work on in this park is actually create some theaters. They won't necessarily be actual real theaters that guests can actually interact with, but it's going to be more of a look thing, and it would be kind of cool, and I'll actually do something to make it look kind of decent and stuff like that, I guess. But I think right outside, once we get into the next section, which I'm currently planning on more of the theme and storyline of the next section of the park, we're going to go ahead and figure out how that's all going to go down. So I want to add a lot more details to this stall as much as I could, and they actually turned out quite well and stuff like that. And then of course foliage and trees and bushes always add to this park, because it's all about the trees and bushes in this park. And this park is supposed to have a really good natural look, and that's what I really want to have with Westwood, is make sure it has a really good natural feel to it. And that means a lot of natural, or nature stuff, and a lot of nature scenery items like trees and stuff like that. And I know trees are a lot of annoying to people when most of the episode is me placing trees, but really in the end I think it's going to look fantastic, and just give a feel that that's just gonna make the park overall better. And I know a lot of people don't like to watch scenery being placed, but it's a very important aspect to each park, that makes a park look better, and it makes it look more real and more realistic. And I think they're very important pieces in parks. I could plop a park together probably in one episode or a couple episodes if I was just to do like rides and stuff like that and no scenery. Like that would be the easiest park to do. In fact, I might even do a series like that just to show you guys how fast I could get that done and how boring that park would probably look. Just because to prove my point that you gotta have park with your parks have to have scenery in them if you want them to look great. And I know how harsh that sounds, but it's true. You gotta put the time in and detail everything that you can. And again, I'm going to come back at the end of the series. There's always, the last couple episodes are going to be the final detail episodes where I go in and pretty much the park's finished, but I'm going to go ahead and detail everything a little bit more as much as I can. And I'll call it final details and pretty much in those episodes. So that's how that's going to go down. So I do end up adding a ride here, even though it is a small little kiddie ride, which is the Whirly Rig, and I thought it would be a good spot or a good place to put in this section of the park. I figured it would fit well in this section of the park because, you know, it is kind of piratey themed, and this has kind of a little bit of a piratey theme to it, but not like pirates necessarily, but like, you know, the shores, you know, Westwood Shores is gonna have some, you know, water themed rides and like pirate ship ride, not technically pirate ships, but like you know, sailing rides, you know, sailing onto you know, through the waters and shores and stuff like that. So this Whirly Rig ride, like I said, there's going to be a storyline for each ride, and this is going to be kind of like a smaller storyline. There's not going to be too much of a storyline behind this ride, but it's literally just what it is, I guess, the Whirly Rig. It's literally just a rig of whirliness and stuff like that. To be honest, I don't really have a storyline for this actual ride itself. I mean, there's stuff you could come up with, but I still might come up with an actual storyline for this. But like, it's not gonna be like a full-on story. It's just gonna be kind of like that one set part in the park, that one ride in the park that's just, you know, kind of there almost. In a way, all parks have some of that. Even theme parks, I bet, have, you know, just that one ride that's just kind of there for little kids and stuff. But anyways, you know, there could be a storyline behind this, kind of maybe in a way, you know, I kind of see like, you know, barrels themes and stuff like that. You know, there's a lot of barrels and stuff like that. And some octopuses or something like that. I don't know exactly. But like maybe a storage facility for barrels full of goods and stuff. I don't know. Just something like that. And there's, again, not really much of a storyline to this. I just wanted to make sure it was kind of themed. It's just kind of there for the kids in a way. And, you know, this section of the park is very family oriented because there's not really a whole lot of thrilling rides in this section of the park. I might end up putting one more ride that's actually quite a bit of a thrill ride, but we'll figure that out as we go along once that gets planned. So I do want to try and at least get one thrill ride in this section of the park because again, there's not a whole lot of thrilling rides to this. And then I decided to go ahead and get my measuring stick and notice board on the River Rapids ride, of course, because you have to have height requirements for that as well. Of course, it's not going to be that large, but again, it's just minor details. I might change some of the height requirement sticks a little bit later, but for right now, it's going to do well. And this is the notice board, of course, that has all the ride. That's going to have all the ride safety information and stuff like that. You know, warning that there could be like. Make sure you might not want to ride if you can't stand strobe lights or something like that. I don't know. Just like the notice board that has all the safety information and safety requirements that you have to ride the ride. And I thought these parts of these little wooden parts actually worked really well for the measuring stick, and I thought it was actually really neat of how that actually worked out. So that's really cool, and not too much more into this episode except one more building, and this building is actually going to be another gift shop pretty much, and it's going to be the Westwood Shores Supply Company gift shop, which is actually I thought was kind of clever and kind of cool. And so it's just going to be another gift shop. Just expect a lot of gift shops and restaurants in this park because, again, it is kind of in the long lines of a family park family-owned park as well. You just got to think of it that way, and it kind of makes sense. A lot of them have a lot of restaurants, gift shops, and they have their set of rides as well. But they have pretty much a mix of everything in the park. So, anyways, this building comes out kind of weirdly. I go with the yellow kind of roof, which looks kind of funky in a way, and the spire just kind of looks weird. But this building was supposed to look I tried to make this building look a little bit unique. This is what happens when Joe experiments a little bit, and it kind of turns out kind of awkward and weird. But there's still some details I want to add to it to kind of make it look a little bit better. But this building is by no means finished completely. But again, when we get final detailing stuff, we'll work on that just a little bit more, and all that good stuff. So anyways, this is the Westwood Shores Supply Company, and it is going to be a nice little gift shop. I think I put a Looney Balloons and just a memento inside, just for guest interaction purposes and stuff like that. I wasn't originally going to have like a balloon stall, but it doesn't really matter. It works just fine, and that works out. So anyways, I think I just kind of wander around looking around the park and just kind of giving a feel of what it looks like for the rest of this episode. That's about it. So that is about it. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. Not much to it. I'm sorry if you're disappointed about not having a roller coaster in this episode, but it could be in the next episode or two. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you have a great day, even cooler tomorrow, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.